All right, in this tutorial, we're going to talk about applying keyframes to parameters within Cinema 4D. And this is something that is so much fun. So just let's start very simply. I'm going to take my cone. I'm going to make sure I'm at my first or frame 0. And let's say I just wanted to change the coordinates. I just want to move it up. Now I can come in and do it the way I showed you before, and there are advantages to that, but there's also some disadvantages, which you'll see later. But one way I can very simply do this, let's just say I want to move this up on the Y. If I right click here on the Y, this is p.y, which is the Y position, I can add a keyframe. If I move my scrubber bar and then move this up, that's changing this parameter, and then I can right click and say add keyframe again. That is just very simply just going to move this on that Y. All right, so the nice thing about this is it allows me to separate out the movement. Now let's say that I also wanted to rotate this. Let's say I want it to go up and then I want it to rotate. So here, my rotate, if I go to my object, whoops, sorry. There it is, sorry. Now I can rotate using these controls over here. And again, if I just say right click, animation, add keyframe, position, and then move it. Add keyframe. Did I move it? Did I move it? Yes. All right. And then I can go back to my Y. I can move it down. Let me find my world. And then I have just crashed my little rocket. Okay, so that's just right clicking and hitting keyframe. And if we play this now, you can see I have a pretty simple little animation. And again, I can take these little keyframes and I can move them. So if I want to change the timing of them, I can go do that. I can also go in very easily. Let's see, is it gonna let me? Yep, and I can update. Let's say I want on this keyframe, I want this up a little higher. And let's see, will that let me? Let's see. Yes. All right. So that's very simple animation, and that's using parameters to animate. So that so far is very simple. But oh boy, can we do things with this. So much fun. So virtually any parameter in Cinema 4D, we can animate. Let's say I'm going to take a capsule. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put a bend in it. Let me just check my bend. Let me take my bend here. Let's see. Let's move it up. Where is my bend? There it is. Object. So let's see. I want to play with this a little bit. Okay. I might want to make before I bend this, I'm going to go into my capsule. I'm going to give it more parameters, or excuse me, more segments. Let's say 36. Let me turn on my line so I can see that. All right. So that's going to allow me to bend this a little more successfully. All right. So, okay. So here I've got my bend in my capsule. So now what this means is I can add keyframes. So let me go back here. I'm going to right click on my strength and say add keyframe. Move it. Change it. And again, I could do this down here on the, the auto keying or the other keyframe method. This just allows me to kind of separate it out and control it a little bit, which I find very helpful. Let's see. So now if I play this, this is now animating. Right? I can even here. Let me change this, have it go this way, and now suddenly it's a sea anemone. Did I do that in the wrong order? Yep, I did. Hang on. We go back to where that keyframe. Here we go. There we go. So order is important. So I'm going to move this here and add the keyframe. Is that going to do it? I may need one more keyframe. Yep, I need one back here too. So that's okay. Go back. Sometimes I have to figure this out too. All right, so I go here. I am going to go to my bend. There's my bend. Add a keyframe. I'm kind of doing this backwards. And I'm just got, there's a yellow keyframe here. I'm just going to update this. That keyframe. And there we have it. So now suddenly, you know, I've got a kind of interesting, complex figure. All right, so that's that, but what else can we do? I know you want to know. So let's get rid of this. And I'm going to put a cloner, and I'm going to put a, let's see. I'll just use a sphere. Make it a little smaller. I'm going to put my sphere on my cloner. Okay, let me just change. I want to change my cloner because I think this will be more interesting, so I'm going to make it radial. And let's see what else do I want to do. Okay, so let me turn this. I'm going to make that bigger. All right, so here I have this little dot. Anywhere I have that little dot, I can do something with it. So I'm going to back this up, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say add a keyframe. So my first keyframe is set to a count of 5. Let me go up here. All right. So suddenly, look, we have some pretty complex animation. Okay, just for fun, let's see if we can break my computer. I'm gonna right click on my cloner and I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna say current state to object. And what that does, it just creates a, makes a copy. Okay, so here's all these things which were contained in the cloner, but now they're actual individuals. Excuse me. So what I'm gonna do now is let's try. Let's try it. Let's see what happens when I put our cloner in a cloner. Yay. So I'm going to put this in here. Woo! Look at that. So instead of maybe doing grid, maybe I'll do, oh, what would happen if I did, oh, I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so again, we come back here. I'm going to turn this down to maybe 1. Right click, animate, add keyframe. And then right click, and add keyframe. I could also come in here and do something like that. Let's see if this works. I may have needed to set the first keyframe. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah. All right. So again, anytime you see a little dot here, that is something that you can animate, which is pretty amazing. Okay. All right. Let's see. My computer is not yet catching on fire. Let's see what else we can add to this. Let's go to our cloner. Let's say I'm going to add a keyframe. See what this does. I don't know what that's going to do, if anything. Let's see. Let's see. Ah! I got way too excited about that. Okay, so here I've got my first keyframe here. And let's go here maybe, and which one was it? No, I forget. I think it was this one. A keyframe. Let's move it, and oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what we got now. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, so you can see you can really super control what you are keyframing when you use the parameters. And here I can even see it change in my window. All right, so I really like, the auto keyframing is fantastic if you just need to keyframe things really quickly and all at once. But this kind of parameter keyframing allows you to really control and create some really beautiful things. So in the next tutorials, I'm going to be talking about some other tools, including the dope sheet and the curve sheet, which are also very, very helpful in animation.